Good afternoon. It's so good to be back with you on the Love Bay Afro Beat Music Talk Radio, where we are bringing to you live from Nassau, Bahamas, the Relationship and Marriage Hour. And we are so happy we have our co host this afternoon, Dr. Alvin Hepburn. I'm trying to change his name. Dr. Alvin Hepburn. And I'm going to just allow him to say hi to you before we dive right into our show for the evening. Dr. Alvin.
Yes, good afternoon to all. It is once again a privilege of mine to be a part of this great show with host Dr. Maria McDonald. Yes, and it is good that we are here that we can talk about issues relating relationships and marriages. And it is our intent every year or every Sunday that we come on to give you um, key points, things that you can use to help you better your relationships. But it's good to be on, Doc.
Yes,
It's
and it's
good to
good
be
to
on.
have you too, Doctor. It's good to have you. Now, just before we get into the show, I want our listeners, if you are out there, you can hear us. We want you to participate in this show. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, please, you can send us your question. You can either call in or you can WhatsApp it. The number is 437-778-3299. Please send in your questions or give us your comments. And then you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and all of the other social media. You can join us on this program. Um, so there is also Rumble and Twitch. Join us in this conversation. The conversation is gentleness, a strategy for good marriage. And, you know, as an overview, if every time you have a conversation, it ends up in a fight, or when you try to resolve an issue, there seems to be no end. When toxicity gets in the way of your love, usually persons try to justify and try to defend themselves, and instead of it getting better, you find your situation getting worse. So if you are experiencing anything like that, start a conversation that you can almost bet your last dollar a fight will ensue. So we want you to listen in to this conversation on gentleness. Gentleness is one of the 49 characters that we have. And it speaks about the quality of being kind, the quality of being tender, calm, mild mannered, and it represents what we would say strength under control. Dr. Alvin, sometimes, we see a person looks very quiet, they seem well, mild mannered, they do not, get upset. And sometimes people feel that you're just a pushover. But when we see that, it's just simply strength under control. Because, sometimes we see people quiet and we feel that nothing can happen, right? And we overlook that these persons are capable of also becoming angry and upset.
Mhm.
How about in a marriage? When we talk about in a marriage, gentleness, and usually, especially in cases where there is toxicity or where you can't talk to each other, someone ends up shouting and carrying on. Gentleness, it's people don't like to be gentle. They feel that when you're gentle, you're weak. When you're gentle, you're just a little wimp. People can take advantage of you. And sometimes when you don't say anything, they just think they can take advantage of you. And this I've proven when I speak with the children. Sometimes we tell them about fighting, and they said, well, when you do not say anything, they think you're weak, and therefore they will bully you. But for marriage, it's different. Jesus came in a gentle manner. He was king. He had the whole world under his control. Yet he did not come, you know, making such a loud outburst. He came humble. He came in a manger. When he rode through Jerusalem, he rode on a donkey. He did not go on a
Mhm.
war horse. He had all rights to do it, but he chose to be humble. And it's uncommon strength, and it's the
Yeah.
gentleness that's always with him. So, Dr. Alvin, in relationship, um, when the husband is, or the wife, they are the aggressive one, they feel that's the way to go. And there are some things I want to look at when we think about being the head in the home, the male. We tend to feel that, okay, I'm the man of the house, so I have authority. I can be the strong one. But when we display that gentle spirit, you crushed everything that is coming after you. So, Dr. Alvin, tell us your thoughts from a man's perspective. When you're being gentle, when you're being calm, how do you think women look at you as men?
That's a good question, a broad one. Um, and I would take it from this angle, Doc, to mention the fact that um, it depends on the woman that is looking at you. If it is an immature woman, she would she may read into your gentleness as being, as you said, weakness, and 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 therefore, if you appear to her, um, or she perceives that you are weak, then she tries to dominate, which it should not be. However, to the mature woman, she realized that gentleness does not equate to weakness. Actually, gentleness, which is a very important characteristic that all Christians should have, gentleness is a sign that you are very strong. So it is opposite what many people perceive it to be. There's a saying that we used to say here in the Bahamas, and I don't know where it came from. It may have came from a song or something. It says, "Do not take my sweetness for weakness. So don't take my gentleness and perceive that I'm weak, but gentleness is the complete opposite. That I have, like Jesus did, I have brought my power under subjection, and I am not going to use it to bully or to dominate or to be domineering, but through gentleness, um, I am going to lead. And that is a very powerful position to lead from. Even when we look in Christendom, we see the rise of all of this, and I'll say it this way: these bullies from the pulpit, where people are leading through rowing and ultimatums and all of that type of stuff. Whereas Jesus did not lead that way.
No.
Jesus led with like the Bible says, loving kindness as have I drawn you to a me. So the gentle heart of the gentle um, disposition and the gentle behavior is one that emulates what Jesus have done and he instructs us to do. And Tanya and I in our marriage tend to use some concept of this because we understand that as humans, every now and again things rubs us the wrong way, and we could get off the handle. And what do I mean by that? That if Tanya goes, is gentle.
Yes.
If Alvin goes loud, Tanya is gentle. For the Bible said, a soft word turneth away wrath. And I think there's wisdom in that as relates to how we in a marriage, in a relationship, should deal with one another. Um, for there will be times when your spouse or your significant other will will be to a pushing point that they just have to let out what they're going through. But if you use wisdom in that moment, um, to calm the situation down, your relationship will be better for it.
And that is so true, Doc. You know, another thing, as you said, when she go high, in other words, in temper, you stay calm.
Yes.
There is
Hmm.
also cases where there may be a disagreement in a relationship, and
Hmm.
depending on what words you use, that word can
Hmm.
also stir up argument or more argument, or it'll be like throwing fuel in the fire. So sometimes
Hmm.
she can be calm, but she may say the wrong words. So
Hmm.
those are times too we have to be careful. It's not just being quiet, but it's also choosing the right word to say at that time. Because
Hmm.
I can come, I can go quiet too, Dr. Alvin, with my husband. But at the same time, I could come back to him with ammunition. So we want
Hmm.
people to know that it's not only just being quiet, but choosing the
Hmm.
right words to say,
Yeah.
because you can really words can really. We often say sticks and stone cannot break my bone, but I can tell you words can hurt. Words can hurt,
Yes.
and and
More
that
than
is
sticks
why
and
we
stones.
right exactly more than
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
So it's so much that we have to really be intentional on how we're going to deal with a situation that is brewing in a relationship, whereby every time we open our mouths to talk or to discuss a matter, argument ensue. Okay, so we have to find out what are we saying. We
Hmm.
can be opening our mouths, Dr. Alvin, but saying the wrong thing.
Yes.
And for couples, that is where we have to allow each one to express and not be judgmental too.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree.
Because uh, because if we are, you know, as human beings, Dr. Alvin, we are. This is how the Lord made us. We are all persons that want to feel appreciated, want to feel
Yes.
respected. We want to
Hmm.
feel that um, um, my husband, my wife, really respect and appreciate me for who I am. So when that is lacking, Dr. Alvin, I can understand why there cannot be a smooth conversation. Because
Hmm.
sometimes the one party may be thinking, if you're not showing them enough love, respect, and not so, love, that's automatic. But if you're not showing them that respect or showing them that you trust them as the head over my life or as my wife, then what's going to happen? Every time you start a conversation, he or she is going to be thinking along the line, oh, you don't respect me. And this is why you're throwing this at me. Your intention could be good. What you are doing may be
Hmm.
right. But we have to first now
Hmm.
deal with the underlying issue.
Issues. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
sometimes, and then the one spouse may say, "Well, oh, you this, you that, you can't talk to you, you're thin skinned." Deal with the underlying issue, and then and that's going to come through you being understanding. If it's the husband needs to know that yes, you are in authority, But that authority doesn't mean control. That authority simply
Mm-hmm.
means responsibility. You are
Yes.
responsible for your family. You're responsible for your wife. But if
Mm-hmm.
he's getting the wrong idea, Dr. Alvin, and I want you to speak to us about this. If he's getting the wrong idea that I am the man of the house, I am in, I have the authority, I control my family. When we bring that control in there in that manner, then that's why you will always be having a conflict. Every time you start a
Yes.
conversation, it ends in marriage. Because now
Mm-hmm.
she may be feeling a certain way. You
Mm-hmm.
feel she can't make decision. You have to make all of the decision for her. Authority doesn't mean control. And Dr. Alvin,
Yeah.
I think sometimes with our men, the men tend to get that mistaken. And that can be
Mm-hmm.
an issue in the relationship. Why don't
Yeah.
you speak to us and help our audience, our listeners to know that it's not the
Okay.
authority, but it's how you treat your spouse.
Okay, yes. Like you were saying, Doc, that this authority that is mentioned here does not mean um and watch the verbiage or the phraseology I'm going to use. It does not mean out of control,
Oh yeah.
because some people are out of control trying to control.
Yes, yes, yes,
And that is
yes,
where problems come in, where individuals who have no law want to impose law, who have no boundaries want to give boundaries,
yes,
and therefore things can be skewed, and people will be hurt in every circumstance where that exists. um, And so when it comes to using, and I have counseled many husbands and wives and future husbands and wives, where there is this misconception that I am the man and what I say go.
yes.
You got to do what I say because I's the man. And then I
Mm-hmm.
look at them and I said, okay, since you are the man, are you willing to die for this woman?
Mm-hmm.
And
Uh-huh.
many of them stop and pause. So I said, see, you can cherry pick from the scripture. If you are not willing to do, you should not be expecting somebody else to do. If you want your wife to uphold her obligations, you should uphold yours. Because as the man, the true man leads by example.
Yes, yes.
The best way, and the best way to be in control, if you want to be, is to control yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So true. So
So what needs to happen, because and this is something that I learned years even before I got married, or in meditating on the scriptures. um, what what I learned was, this is something that I even do with Tanya now. If there is a problem, if I see a problem with Tanya and I cannot suggest a solution, then I keep my
mm-hmm.
mouth closed,
Okay.
because it don't make sense pointing out problems if you can't fix them.
Mm.
And then I come to the reality of the truth that the problems I see or think I see may not be problems at all. It may just be the phase of life I'm at and what I
Mm.
view as problems, not knowing that
Wow.
those things put there in that woman for God to help me.
Yes, yes.
I can
Wow.
become a better me. So,
Wow.
so how do I run my house is that I give it to the Lord so He could use me how best He wants. And
Mm-hmm.
and to I like I shared with you years ago, how a brother of mine came over to the house and he was like, Aaron, what's going on here? This is not how daddy and mommy do it back home, and all kind of stuff. Your wife should be doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I had to put him in his place and said,
Mhm.
listen, um, this, if that's what you want to do with, you all to decide that, and you all do that. But my wife and I
That's
have
right.
sat down and had a conversation, and and we have come to an agreement, and that's what is so that's just what is so powerful, Doc, is that the man and the
Yes.
woman come to an agreement. How can two walk together except they agree? And
Yes.
once we have agreed on something, we work towards that. Nobody's voice should supersede each other's voice. So,
That is
so
so powerful.
when it comes to the man being the head, it doesn't mean that um, everything I say goes. What it means
Hmm.
is that I need to know, Tanya, let's sit down and discuss this.
Yes.
And if anybody can be up front, boy, and this the thing, dog. The person who's in the front of the battle for the most part gets killed first.
All the time. Yes.
And that's our role as the
That's the
men.
role.
We're supposed to stand in
Responsibility.
the front as that's the
Right.
responsibility and protect
Yes.
our family.
That's right.
I don't put Tanya, AJ, and Naya out there. No. My
No.
role is that I must go out front
To protect. That's right.
and protect the family. That's the role of the husband. That's the role that the Lord has put in the man's hand. And like the woman is to respect the man needs to love that woman to the point that
That's
he's
right.
willing to die. And I think when you look at that extreme, I love you to the point that I'm willing to die for you, that everything else pales in comparison.
Yes. Yes.
So
And
so yeah, go on, Doc. Go on.
yeah, no, not. I'm just saying that that is so so true. You know, you have to consider all of these things when you're talking about taking authority. When you're
Yes.
looking at this, I am the man in the house. I wear the
Mhm,
pants. Okay, you wear the pants. That's fine. But your role then is to be responsible. It doesn't
mhm,
mean dominating. It doesn't
mhm,
mean your wife have to just bow when you speak. That's not your child, that's your wife,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And I find that in cases like that, when we find one spouse that is almost overbearing or dominating, gentleness will disarm
mhm,
that anger. It will disarm all of those conflict that is going on, right? Um,
mhm,
because studies show that the gentleness or the gentle response will break down every defense.
mhm,
Why he or she is dominating in that manner could be from some past hurt. But when you take on the gentle part of it, mothers, when you take on the gentle part, then what you're saying, you are just going to treat him as he ought to be treated,
mhm,
and it will break that stronghold that is causing your marriage to be um, unhappy, causing you to be unhappy in your marriage.
mhm,
So
mhm,
gentleness, Jesus approached it, and if we look at how he did it, he dealt with broken and sinful, the broken and the gentle. He dealt with them gently, and not harsh. Sometimes you would look at the way Jesus dealt with them, and you say, "Boy, if I had to do it, we would have been harsh." But Jesus dealt with them gently, and as a result, they gravitated to him. The Bible tells us about when he healed one person, or he fed, or he was gentle with them. They went and they told everybody. So everyone that was sick, that was lame, everybody came running to get help from this man, right?
yes.
That's what gentleness will do. It will cause you. you would be happy, you would be willing to help somebody else, right? You would be willing to share what has happened to you with others.
mhm, mhm.
So,
And and
gentleness.
two, doctor, just to add there, um,
Hmm.
as Jesus is our example, Jesus forces no one to follow him.
Not at all.
He does not bully. He is not overbearing. All he says is, "I give you free reign. You make the decision." And like Jesus leads, he expects us to lead.
Certainly. Yes. When we have conflict, I agree with that, Dr. Alvin. So, therefore, when marriages have conflict, how we handle the conflict can restore the relationship. And that's
Mhm.
where gentleness comes in.
Yes.
Gentleness takes the place where, we don't know what to do, but I am now going to change the way I speak to you. I'm going to change how I respond to you. The problem, I think, Dr. Alvin, sometimes our pride gets in the way. If our husbands or our wives say something to us, we allow that pride to get in the way, and we feel we have to respond. Boy, you don't know me, or you don't know. I'm not stupid. I'm not. And we try to respond, react to it, not respond. Because I think when we respond in a thought out way. But when we react, the first thing come to our mouth is what we're going to throw out. You don't know me, eh?
Mhm.
You don't know who I am.
Yeah.
You don't, and
Yeah.
and all of that is a trigger for the next
Mhm. Mhm.
part of that argument. It's a
Yes.
trigger. So we
Mhm.
have to we have to be wise, and it's always better to respond as opposed to reacting. When
Mhm.
we respond, we will be gentle. I wonder why he's hurt. I wonder why he's
Yeah.
speaking to me in this manner. Let me see if I
Mhm.
can help him. So what you do, you give a soft answer, and instead of, you know, a brash or a
Mhm.
harsh tone, give something soft.
Mhm. And doc, that is too. What adds to that is that you say he's not always like this,
Hmm.
or she is not always like this. There got to be something else that is causing this because they are out of character. They're
Yes.
out of their normal way of behaving.
Hmm.
And that's what sets it apart from a mature and an immature partner. An
Right.
immature partner is one who's like, oh, you can't on like that. Well, I can meet your energy. If you mad, I can be mad. When you good, I good. When you bad, I bad. No, The mature partner is like, okay, this is not your norm. You blowing some steam. Let me let you blow some steam, and I will be the gentle one. Because
Hmm.
you realize too that the relationship is more important than your feelings. Wow.
Hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's right.
because feelings come and feelings go. This
It goes.
relationship is supposed to last till death.
That's
But
right.
feelings don't last till death.
Hmm. And that
So
is so true. That is
yeah,
so true. That is so
yeah,
true.
because you could be
So
upset today and in 3 hours you don't forget about that because you didn't blow the steam. You don't forget about that
right.
and move on.
And,
But
and
then if you did not handle that moment correctly, you have damaged the relationship. And then that's what's gonna
yes,
take a long time to try to heal.
that is so true.
Hmm.
That is true. And in such instance, Doc, when in the relationship, there can be no, um, you cannot reach an agreement in the relationship because you are still caught up in your feelings, because you are
Yes.
still hurt what he said to you yesterday,
Mhm.
and you're carrying that. There's no wonder why we have a blowout, because
Mhm.
Instead of dealing with it, we keep it. And
Let
and
it
sometimes you
fester.
wonder how, yeah, we allow it to grow. And you wonder how can families, a man that says he loves his wife, can come back at her and really box her up, right?
Mm.
Instead of dealing with that issue, he keeps it. We have to get out of our feelings, allow, have that conversation. But you have to be gentle. And to the one that is calm, one thing my grandmother said to me, Dr. Alvin, when I was getting married, never both be angry at the same time.
Yeah.
If he's angry, you stay calm. If you're angry, it's for him to stay calm. Because two hot heads can't bring a solution, a resolution.
No.
It will escalate from one level to the next. So
Hmm.
the thing is, when he is angry, you find a gentle word, find a gentle word to say to him. Do not try to match him. Do not try to match her. Because, in reality, Dr. Alvin, I personally believe in relationships, we're dealing with a lot of trauma. We're dealing with a lot of
Yes.
situation, past hurt. We're dealing with all of
Hmm.
those things. And sometimes there are triggers that causes them to come out.
Hmm.
So rather than becoming a victim because of a trigger of something that come out and he blow his steam and he or she blow her steam and call you everything but you're who you are, then
Hmm.
you know something is wrong. So this is where gentleness works best
Hmm.
because you're
Yeah.
not going to come out of your feelings and try to react to what he or she may be saying to you or doing to you. Now, I'm not talking about abuse when I say doing, right? But he may be or she may be saying some hurtful things, mean
Hmm.
things, right? So rather than reacting, this is where gentleness can play out. And that this
Yeah.
is why it's a strategy for a good marriage.
Hmm.
We don't have to fight every battle that we encounter. Why don't
It's
you?
so true.
And yeah, instead of coming at him, Dr. Alvin, or coming at her with vengeance, then look at her, look at him, and look at and find something good to or positive. You're really beautiful when you're angry. I love when you're angry because you show beauty, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure that is going to break the ice. Find something to say as opposed to matching up in anger.
I agree. Find something that will soothe the issue. And you made a mention of it earlier in this broadcast today, Doc, that technically, and if you look at it, we have two liquids in our hands. We have a bucket of water and a bucket of gasoline. Which one are we going to throw? Which one is needed? You can either out the fire or you can fuel the fire.
That's right.
And as the wise person, you should always aim to to contain the fire. And watch what I'm going to say now, because there's sometimes you need gasoline. But when do we need the gasoline? When it's controlled fire, when we can
Okay.
control the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
Oh,
you need that water, because that water helps to out them wildfire. And
right.
it's the wildfire that is destructive.
Yes.
Control fire is beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
because I just looked at it today while I was cooking lunch. I need that fire, dog.
That's right. Oh yeah.
And
Otherwise, you
and
wouldn't.
and when the food was almost done, I turned that nozzle, I turned that knob down. What does that mean? I am controlling the fire.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we are not saying to people, oh well, you can't go hot. We're not saying that at all because we are human. There are going to be times when that heat is needed, but we want it controlled.
Yes. And Dr. Alvin, a good word for that is being tender without surrender.
Yes.
Be, being tender without surrender. How then do
Mhm.
you stay gentle when someone disagrees with you? When someone is really driving you to a point where you can just explode? How? You know.
Um, Someone said to me, a teacher of mine said years ago, when I was in high school, she said to me because I was a hothead. She said to me, Alvin, sometimes you have to live to fight another day. So you need to look at a situation, and you have to say, do you know what? If I go and fight this one may lead to death.
Hmm.
Let me calm down, step away, and come back another day. That's the mature person. That's the person who says, okay, yes, get it out. Because I sometimes I sit down and I just listen as Tanya goes out, and in my head I'm saying, let it all out, baby. Because if it's balled up, I don't want you getting sick. Because it could lead to bitterness, it could lead to resentment, it can lead to all kind of physical ailments. Let it all out.
Yes.
And if it's too much for me to deal with right then, I said, baby, we'll have to deal with this later. But I'm glad you
Mm.
let it out.
Very good.
And then when I can handle, then we will come back and we'll have the discussion.
That is
But that
good.
comes to maturity. That comes to
That is good.
maturity, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. But what if you, in a case, have to then correct Tanya about something she has done, um, and Tanya is not seeing it your way? How then can you bring gentleness in there, or the art of restoring what is happening?
Okay.
You don't want to
Um,
crush her.
no, no. Sometimes, doc, it may be best like we've already discussed. You burn it out and you gotta leave it alone and
Hmm.
come back another day or so. And then too, there are certain times it may take more than a day. Be, because that's one of the problems with us, Doc, is that we feel that everybody should think the way we think and see the way that we see, whereas everybody perceives differently.
So true.
So, so me being the responsible or the so-called man gotta be able to say, okay, well, babe, if you don't see it that way, however you see it, you have to work it that way.
Hmm.
And know too, though, that I still have to be there. Case in point, if Tanya don't agree with something that I want to do, or something that I think is necessary, I would say to her, okay, well, give me leeway to still do it and just trust me. And she has done that. She said, well, Alvin, what you want to do don't make sense. I don't see it now. But if you say that that's the way to go, let's go. And I
That's
would
good.
then say, well, babes, if I mess up, please just be there to make sure we clean the thing up. Sometimes
Very
it
good.
works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's what love is. Love is
That
not
is
to constrain the individual, allow them to be who they are. And making a mistake doesn't mean that that's the end of the world. You have to be there as the loving partner to help and to assist and to help
yes.
restore.
And does she remind you? Does she throw in your face every time an argument come up? I told you not to do this. See, these are the things that creates conflict. You make a
Yes.
mistake today. And if she keep beating you with that same stick, then that's why you would always have a problem in the relationship. It will
Yeah.
always end in argument.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
once you would have
Yeah.
failed, she now understand you ain't feeling good about it. So she's not coming at you
Hmm.
with that again.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
and that is what we need to be the takeaway when we talk about trying to resolve hidden, relationship that is hurting.
Yeah.
One of the things, though, in relationship when there's conflict, every time there's a conversation, we have to watch our tone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say something, but the tone is coming across wrong. We have to.
Yeah. And then too, Doc, it could be too unresolved
Mhm,
hurts, like you mentioned before.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Dr. Alvin, there are sometimes people, their tone is of a brash type. Naturally,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
naturally have a tone that sounds like they are rowing. Now, those are the people that have to really be intentional of what and how they say it, especially in times of arguments,
Yeah.
because they may come across, even though it's not meant the way it's coming out, they would have to do a little extra to keep it soft, gentle,
Hmm.
you know. So our tone is one of the things, and this is just practical tip. We have to watch our
Yeah.
tone, how
Hmm.
we come out with whatever we say.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Doc, the average person, they talk to me, they don't realize that I have a speech impediment, that I stutter.
Right.
And one of the ways when I went to speech therapy, one of the ways that I discover through the therapy to get over it, or whenever I felt like I won't get a word out, I would elevate my voice, and the words would come out. So
Yes.
so many times people would hear Tanya and I in a discussion, and they may think that Alvin is getting mad because he elevates his voice. But I'm
Right.
elevating my voice so I don't stutter.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
not because I am angry. And that had
Right.
to have been, a conversation with Tanya so that she knows that Alvin is not mad with me. He just tried to
That's
bring
right.
out his words.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, had she not known, the minute she hear your tone go up, then that's argument.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have to know each other well. We have to
Yes,
know each
yes.
other well, you know,
Uh-huh.
so that it doesn't happen, you know.
Yes, yeah,
So that's
yeah,
that's a good one, you know.
yeah.
And Doc, another thing is we have to listen before we speak, or speak
Hmm.
less,
Quick to
you know.
hear, slow to speak.
And like what one of our colleagues, she said that's why God gave us two ear, so we could hear
And
more,
one
and
mouth.
one mouth we speak
Yeah.
less,
Okay.
because sometimes we say too much.
Hmm.
We say too much, and
Hmm.
that's why the Bible tells us that a soft answer will turn away
Turn
wrath.
the way around. Yeah,
When we
yeah.
speak less, follow the wisdom, according to Jesus, the way he did it. And
Hmm.
there are sometimes I'm speaking. There's someone I was just. There's a friend that we talk to. When we're talking to him, he does not quickly speak. He takes his
Hmm.
time and he
Hmm.
think about what he's saying, and then he
Hmm.
speaks.
Hmm.
Sometimes if we're too quick to speak, we can say the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. And that is so true. That is
Yeah,
so
we
true,
have to
Doc.
take our time, and
Yeah. Because too, there's sometimes like Tanya would say something, and I'm like, could you say that again? And when she says it again, I say, "Oh," because the first time I heard it, I thought you meant this. But that's not in what
Right.
you're talking about. You're talking. She's like, oh no, I never did. Be
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
you're coming from different backgrounds.
Yes.
You're coming from different ways of operating. So all of this is a part of bonding and growing together and getting to know one another is in allowing them to be themselves, to speak, and you must understand, and you must properly understand what they are saying, and then deal with it from that standpoint, because that's how Jesus was. Jesus understood what
He
was being
understood.
said, and then he
Mhm.
addressed it.
Yes.
He addressed it,
Yes.
and sometimes, Doc, his some of the things that even when we look at the life of Jesus, how he addressed things, it's like, wow, you could use
Yes.
those words, you could say it
Yes.
that way, but everything that has to be done, and I encourage everyone I counsel, um, this, and I know you get tired, Doc, of hearing me say it, but never see your partner as the enemy.
Never. Never.
Because once you
Never.
see your partner as the enemy, doesn't matter if they say it hard or soft, you can feel that they trying to attack you.
Yes.
Your spouse can wake up
Yes.
and say, good morning, what a beautiful day. And that can turn into an argument because you see them as the enemy. What's so beautiful about it? What you think you can kill me today, eh? I ain't gonna let you kill me. Say
Yes.
what?
You
I
take
just
it.
told you good morning and it's a
Yes.
beautiful day.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the way you see it, because that's where you are. You seeing your
That's
partner
right.
as your enemy and not your
Right.
friend.
Wow. And that's crucial because if we continue to see our spouse as our enemy, there will never be peace
No.
because there will always be the need to win.
Mm-hmm.
You become one when you stand before the priest, your pastor, and said, "I do." You
Mm-hmm.
become one. So you have it's no longer I'm winning over you, or you win this one, or the next I win the next one. We're not
Mm-hmm.
in a fight to win. We're in it to win it together.
Yes.
And I think we need to shift our focus from the individual win to we win.
Mm-hmm.
And if we
Mm-hmm.
can do that, if we can do that, Dr. Alvin, we wouldn't have all the argument because we're winning together. We have to see, at least couples need to see that they are not their enemies. He is not your enemy. She is not your enemy. There is, of course, an enemy, but it's not either of you. There is a devil that doesn't like you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't like when you have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So relinquish the need to win individually, and let's win
Yeah.
collective.
Yeah.
Win
Yeah.
collective.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is one
Because
of the things. Mhm.
because if it's a win loss, it's a loss.
It's a
The
loss,
marriage should always win. And the
always.
marriage wins
You
only
both
in two
win.
circumstances the marriage wins. When both of you win or both of you
Yes,
lose.
that's right.
That's
That's
the
right.
only way the marriage wins. Now, if
That's
one
right.
win and one lose, the marriage lost.
That's right.
So if both of you win and both of you lost, the marriage is okay. And that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to keep, the marriage.
Keep the marriage.
So it must be a win-win or a loss-loss, but never a win-loss or loss-win.
That's
And
right.
you have persons out there who's fighting because they're trying to big up themselves and say, I'm all of that.
Yeah.
But you all of that
That's
with a failed marriage,
a failed marriage, failed
then you
relationship.
all of that.
Failed. Yeah. So if I like what you said, if one lost, the whole marriage, it's all of you, both of you lost. But what
Mm-hmm.
can happen there, Alvin, if if you, one lose, then the one that won needs to sit down and say, let's look at this. Let's see how you're thinking. Why is it we are we are opposite? Because we're in this together.
Mhm. Yeah.
Why do you think this is good? Have a conversation. Talk. You know, you're not competing. Find out how she's looking at it. Maybe she feels that you some certain way, a certain way. So she have the thought that she has. But sit down and say, well, look, no, I'm not thinking that way because we are one. I'm thinking that if we do this now, this may not work for us
Yeah.
now. Maybe it can work for us later. Why do you think it
Yeah.
can work now? So have the conversation. We no one has to win. If it means then we have to let it be the facts. Let it not
Yeah.
be your idea. I don't want it done now because I don't want it done now. The facts should say to dictate to that. We don't want to
Hmm.
start this now because we don't have sufficient funds.
Hmm.
And that answers the question. That's good enough. But if you are saying, no, I don't want it because I don't want it, there will always be
Hmm.
conflict, Dr. Alvin. You
Always.
have you have to sit down and decide why we can't have this, why we can do
Mhm.
this or cannot do it. You have to sit down and
Mhm.
think about it.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
Dr. Alvin, if one partner constantly dominate a relationship and the other person don't have much say and they have needs, they have desires, they want to see certain things as well, you there cannot be peace.
Not in
There
that
cannot,
home.
no, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is so sad that two people rush to become one, and in coming one, they want to be individuals. They don't want to lose themselves. Well, stay by yourself if you don't want to lose yourself. The
That's
whole
exactly,
fact of a marriage is two becoming one.
that's right. So
Yeah.
everything you do, it's for the both of you.
Yeah.
Sit down,
Yeah.
determine how we're going to move forward. And it's not you calling him names, he's calling you names. Should never come to that, not in a marriage. Think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Tanya and I
We
have a
un-
joke,
mhm.
Doc. We have a joke that why we can't call each other's names. Cause too, if I say, boy Tanya, you crazy. And then she looks at me and say, well, if I crazy, that means you's the lover of crazy. Why you love crazy?
Okay. All right. Yeah. You,
So who's the one that's really crazy? The
you
crazy
got to
one
be
who
that
love
one.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel that a lot of situations in relationship um, doesn't have to be, but when we go into this thing with a single mindset, it's me.
Hmm.
When we go in with that single mindset, Dr. Alvin, problem erupts. But when we
Yeah.
go into it that, we are one, and yes, we're going to have to get used to adjusting to the oneness of two people
Yeah.
that have their own unique love and all of that, but we're becoming one. I think, Dr. Alvin, that's one of the hardest things for married couples. It may be hard, it may take some time getting there, but if they
Mhm.
take gentleness, the character, to help them to get to that point, that will squash all of the other things that comes against a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So take
Yeah.
gentleness along because it's going to take time getting used to certain things in a
Hmm.
relationship. You know, we
But
want to
like you
make it.
said, gentleness made does
Mhm.
not mean that you weak. It means that you're
No,
very strong, but your strength is controlled.
you controlling that
It's
strength.
controlled strength, and
Yes,
that is so powerful.
yes. You're not allowing the minor things to cause you to make a major decision on a minor.
Yeah. Yeah.
because you could cost you your marriage. But put gentleness in there until you adapt, until you know how, until you know what to do in a relationship. Allow gentleness to guide you. That's a strategy, Dr. Alvin, for the good marriage. Because there are a lot of
Yep.
them. Listen, there are no, not everyone that goes into a relationship know how to live in a relationship. Most of the time, people get
Hmm.
married, they don't know the next step, what to do.
Yeah.
They think marriage is only about going to bed, having a good fling in bed, having enjoying each other. Now you have to live. Now you have to
Yeah.
live the life. So
Yeah.
they
You
don't know
gotta
that
eat.
part.
You gotta do all kind of things. Bills gotta be paid. House gotta
That's
get
right.
clean. Yeah. Children gotta raise.
And what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
you can't think selfish. You can't just think it's all about you. So
No.
one of the things you want to do, watch your tone. Watch your
Mhm.
tone. Keep gentleness in the relationship. Be gentle with your
Yeah.
spouse. And Dr.
And
Alvin, one of mhm,
no, go on, go on.
one of the most important thing is keeping people's opinion out of your marriage.
Yes. Yes. That's powerful.
Hmm.
And another thing, Doc, it don't just work in marriages, but it work in all relationship
All,
where you just
yeah,
treat people the way you would want to be treated.
that's the bottom line. That's
Yeah,
the bottom
and
line.
and and that's all it comes to. Let me treat
Yes,
Tanya the way I want Tanya to treat me.
that's right.
Um, and if you make that your baseline, that too, Doc, will lead
Hmm.
to a very good marriage. Because if I'm treating
Yes,
Tanya the way I want to be treated, and Tanya's treating me the way she wants to be treated, then boy, that means we're treating each other's good. Because I know of no one in their right mind who want to beat up themselves, who want
no one,
themselves to go down. You
no
always want
one.
to look your best. You want to talk your best. You want to smell your best. You want to put forth your best. So if that's what
Yes,
you want to do it for the for the individual. Put forth
that's
your
right.
best.
Yes. And we're running out of time right here, Alvin, but I want to say to the couple that may be going through, and see, sometimes these things, Dr. Alvin, doesn't correct itself overnight, you know.
No,
Sometimes it takes
not at all.
years, it takes days, right? And then,
Take
like
yeah,
your brother came, yes, it can take. Like your brother came and he didn't understand what was happening. He thought, this is the way it should be done, just in case you don't know. It happens
yeah,
with other people as well. Someone will come in and see you and your spouse, the gentleness that you're trying to be, and there are certain things that it doesn't look like it's working. Others will come in and see that and say, "Girl, you stupid. Boy, you stupid. Why you letting it
yeah,
treat you like that?" That's your
yeah,
relationship. Work on it to build it how
yeah,
you want it. Keep the people who don't understand, keep them out.
yeah,
I
yeah.
would recommend to anyone that is listening, our listeners, if you're listening, sometimes you may have to tell them, look, just stay out. This
There.
is our
Yeah,
relationship. Please stay out of it. You don't
yeah.
understand it, stay out of it. And
Cause
that's
to
why this
and I just
some
tell
people love talking.
yeah. I just told Tanya a story today on a little clip that I was watching of this girl talking to her best friend about her husband, and the best friend saying to her, "Girl, if I was you, I wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't put up
Yes.
with that." And as a result, she leave her husband, and her best friend go on and marry him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't take advice from people out there.
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah. So,
because you're looking to end your relationship. Don't do it. She took him.
Yeah.
Why did she get him?
Yeah. 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 Well, I guess she was saying he ain't good enough for you. You don't put up with that. But he good enough for me. I'll put up with it.
I'll put up with it.
And and we
Wow.
ruin what can something that lasts a lifetime over stuff
Yes.
that can be fixed if we just be gentle, like you said, if we be gentle, if we meek, and if we be understanding and deal with the
Yes.
issues, you conquer,
Yes.
overcome, and move on.
And move on. So for our
Yeah.
listeners out there, allow gentleness to be a part of your relationship. Allow it to work in your
Yeah.
marriage and even in your everyday life. Gentleness doesn't
Mhm.
mean you're weak, doesn't mean you're wimp. You're just strength under control. And you're going to help
Yes.
someone when you do that. So let's be gentle with each other. And Dr. Alvin, we're not out of content, but we're out
Yes.
of time. And for our listeners, we'll see you next
Yes.
week. But remember to be gentle to your spouse. Have a great afternoon.
Yes. Blessings and peace.